Hi everybody, welcome back to Sprueverse, my scale model universe, and day one of a brand new build. Back to Star Trek for me, and to the motion picture from 1978, and I wanted to tackle the travel pod. And I have this awesome book here. It's called The Art and Visual Effects. It's by Jeff Bond and Gene Kosinski. It's a really fun book to go through. So if you don't have it, it's definitely worth getting if you're a Trekophile as I am. Not a tremendous amount of information in the book actually on the pod itself. Just actually a couple of pages dedicated to it. But it was, as you know, the transportation for Kirk and Scotty to go out to see the refitted Enterprise for the first time. And this was how Kirk was brought out. And they tell you in all of the sort of specs behind the scenes that these were definitely used around definitely used around spaceports where they were building ships and that sort of a thing. They didn't want to use transporters. I suppose it could have been potentially dangerous to be using them, or I don't know, or it was a faster way to move people backwards and forwards. The pods themselves actually could either have chairs for the pilot and co-pilot or pilot, or you could have them without, and as you see it in the film where Scotty is just standing up and driving it. And then there's two benches on the sides for transporting several more passengers if you choose to. But what I really love about this is its incredibly unique design. And it's a lot of fun. And the reason why I think it's a lot of fun is because we can light it, and the pod itself, it has such a large front window that anything we put on the inside of this, we're going to see, you know. So any of the details, anything you want to light, control surfaces, you're going to see it all. And that's what I really love about this challenge is it's not a tremendous amount of lighting, and it's subtle, and we've got to be smart about it. You know, we don't want things to be too hot, but we want things to be warm and feel like they're alive and on. And certainly on the exterior of this ship, you've got opportunities as well to light it, as you can see in the book here. And if I go to the close-up camera here and I pull over, you can see that we've got a strobe at the top there, and then we've got nav lights, port and starboard. And then we've got this warm glow that appears around the exterior, all to be lit. And there are these sort of downward floods, but I you know, unfortunately, this is what I call studio light. You know, it's not it's not anything we can achieve. Although many will try, and I say awesome. I hope they do, because you're a better man than me. But where do you get such a model? Well, you gotta know this guy. He puts one of these stickers in every one of his boxes. It is Cosmic Scale Models. Cosmic Scale Models. And if you don't know Cosmic Scale Models, you need to. I'm shamelessly promoting Keith because I think he's incredibly talented and he's a decent human being. So it's COZMIC Scale Models. That's cosmicscalemodels.com. Or you can find him on Facebook at facebook.com/COZMODS, and you'll see everything that Keith is offering. And one of the things he offers is a 1/20th scale travel pod. So let me start with the interior because it comes in two parts. The interior of the pod is here, and what you get is a very clean interior with obviously opportunities to get your lighting in here and here. Plenty of holes pre-drilled to bring your wiring up, because this is the interior of it, of the tub, and of course the front control surface here. All clean, crisp, ready to go. There's absolutely, when I tell you, if you have to put a mild stick on this just to clean it up, barely, there's no flash. There's absolutely nothing on this tub. The top part of the tub, interior, has some really nice details, and of course your lighting panels, which appear on the filming miniature. So if you look at, if you actually look at the this shot, you will see that we've got those lighting panels up there, and he provides the diffusion clear plastic for those as well. I'll show you that in just a second. But just absolutely incredible detail, and on top of it, guys, locator pins. Now you got to be careful with your locator pins because you don't want to snap them, but this will come together beautifully. And of course you've got your two benches as well that go on the inside to create the interior of your travel pod. Now what he also provides you are these things of beauty. Check this out. He gives you Kirk and Scotty. And Scotty has his mustache and he's ready to go. The detail is extraordinary. They're beautiful. Prime these in white, or prime these in black, and then white to help with your shadowing if that's how you choose to paint your figures. There's a couple of schools of thought about how figures should be painted, but he provides them for you, and they're in the kit, and I really appreciate that. The exterior, equally as beautiful, is right here. Again, with your locator pins, and just nominal cleanup. I'm not pushing down hard on these because I want to be very careful. If you work to these locators too much, you're going to snap one, and I don't want to do that. But I'm here to tell you that once this is pushed down flush, and you've put this together with a little CA glow, this is not going anywhere, and you've got very little seam, if any seam work to do, because once you start painting, it's going to blend beautifully. Again, you know, I mentioned that your window is so large. I mean, this is my hand. I've got a massive hand, and I can get my hand almost inside this window. In fact, I can. That's how big it is. So you're going to see everything inside, and that's what's exciting about this. Really fun. You can see you've got your this band of light that all the fans are in there. They're crisp. There's nothing to do. There's a couple of sort of add-ons here that you'll plug in here. And there is an opportunity to put some fiber optics and some blinkies in there if you want to, if you wanted to. And then, of course, your exterior, well, you have your interior door and your exterior door. So obviously they face each other. And then your locking ring. or docking ring, I should say, is right here. So those are the most of the parts. There's a small bag of parts also that come with this. Well, let me get you closer. This small bag, and it has in it your two exterior greeblies that plug onto the outside, and then what are your J joints, and then of course some colored parts, as you can see here, for your port and starboard nav, and some colored parts for lighting on the exterior. Beautifully, all crisp, very clean, and just there. So an absolute delight. Now, I suppose I should have started with this, but I didn't. Here's your instruction manual, and let me pull everything aside here for a second. Again, beautifully presented. On the inside, some technical information, which I really love, and some construction information about working with resin if you haven't done it before, and then some information about your paint and decals. And reminding you obviously that the decals on this kit come on a one sheet of carrier film. They're not pre-cut, so they don't slide off as individually. They do have to be cut. So be aware of that. And also, some of the decals might be slightly large, so that they can drop into some of the exterior panel lines and raised surfaces. So you may have to do a little trim there, but a really good decal softener, and these will go on really well. I've never had a problem with any of Keith's decals. They don't tear. So just like anything else, though, be super careful and be well prepped, and you'll be fine. Moving on. It shows you obviously your interior benches, and it shows you where your decals go. Now, you could put these decals, as I will, on some clear plastic film, and I'm going to backlight them. So, and I'll do the same obviously for the control surface on the front here, this one right here. And I will show you the decals in just a second. It shows you literally how all of the clear parts go together, and the clear parts are they're a thing of beauty as well. Let me show you those. Here they are. Your windscreen for the front, which is obviously got protective film over it, and then your diffusion parts, which he has labeled every single one of them. It's extraordinary, the amount of detail he's gone to. So all your diffusion light is ready to go. I mean, he has really done an awful lot of the prep for you, which means you can focus on some of the details and spend a lot more time on paint and wiring, and just so I'm really excited about tackling this because he's just made it so much fun. So I want to get back to the instruction quickly. Here I showed you the clear parts in the green and the red, your port and starboard navs, two red resin parts that will be lit as well, and obviously where your diffusion goes. And then he shows you how the interior pod goes into the exterior pod. So you can sub-assemble your interior pod and all your wiring harness, and then cleverly drops into the exterior pod, and away you go. So no additional drilling or fiddling, all very clean. And then he shows you where your energizers go and your docking clamps go. And the J pins, these J pins that you get in this baggie, There they are. There's one there. Those J pins are obviously your locking hooks for your docking ring. So those are the clamps that would obviously appear as though they are grabbing the Enterprise and holding the travel pod in place. So beautiful, right? Let me quickly show you decals. You get a sheet of your smaller decals. Help if it was in the camera, wouldn't it? I'm sorry. Your caution triangles, some caution little warning lights, some warning labels, excuse me. Some control surfaces for the interior and exterior opening of the pod doors. And some smaller little call-out tags and some other little detail tabs. And again, the carrier film, nothing on here is individual, so a big heads up. Not difficult. Get yourself a good sharp number 11, right? And have a ruler. Take your time, and you'll be fine. And you want to leave a little bit of carrier film on these anyway, because that's how you'll sort of bolt them to the surface. Your exterior markings are all here, along with your control surfaces. So everything is really crisp and clean, but again, you do have to take extra time because this is one piece of film. It's not individual pieces, so don't be confused by that. And then your control surfaces. Now, this is on a light blue film, so which is basically clear white. So remember, when you put these on your control surface, you want to make sure that you've got a clear part behind it, so that these pop, and then when you light it, just make sure you don't get yourself any hot spots and you'll be fine. But the detail is extraordinary. It really is. He does a lovely job. And how much trouble he goes to. I mean, look, he even calls it a 1/20th travel pod and makes sure that the typography is correct to the world. I just love that. I love his attention to detail. So that's a very quick sort of description of everything that comes with this kit. Then I went out and took the trouble, because he offers it, so I thought, why not? Now, I ad nauseum say we're a test kitchen, so I want to try things. He offers the Travel Pod base kit, guys. Extraordinary. And here it is. Beautifully packaged, as all of Keith's things are. But when you open it up, what you notice immediately is on the inside of the lid, you get your instructions for your glue, and obviously how you connect your on and off switch and your 9 to 12 volt DC power input, which, believe it or not, he supplies. So the first thing you notice when you open this is you get this absolutely beautiful pristine base top. Now that can be lit if you want to light it. You can certainly put some kind of light behind it to punch it, but I don't think it'll be necessary, because the colors he uses are just absolutely extraordinary. So I'm going to make sure that that is protected. So we'll put that to one side. Here's the bag with your rod. Now, this is a solid brass rod that you could actually injure somebody with if you wanted to. But what's extraordinary about it is that it is precisely engineered to go inside the bottom of your kit. Look at that. Look how crisp that is. You couldn't get it that clean if you tried. So I'm just absolutely in love with that. And he also supplies your switch and your power jack. Good qualities. They're good quality too. Jack, switch. Now, it's not the momentary switch that you see in tenor controls. It's actually a switch. Although you know, so it's an on and off. You can feel it. He supplies you with for the exterior, he supplies you with the 2 pre-cut holes for those for those lights. Excuse me, for the switch and the input, power input. So you can certainly make that hole a little bigger and go with something a little beefier. I think I might go with a slightly different switch, but I don't think that'll be that won't be an issue at all. But the fact that this kit is complete is just extraordinary. And then the exterior parts of the box are all pre-tongue and grooved, very simple to put together, with the exterior being black and the interior being this sort of light gray. And you just sort of put your box together, and it's very clean. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to display my kit on this box, on this light box. That's what I'm going to do, because then, you know, it's all ready to go. I don't have to think about it, and I love that. Once in a while, I do like to build a base, but I am the laziest base builder on the planet. I don't know why. I just am. Okay, so that's basically all of the parts. I'm going to give everything a warm bath in warm soapy water. You want to do that. There could be some resin left over, even though these parts are cured and they are cleaned up with rubbing alcohol. Just make sure you get your parts really clean. Some warm soapy water will help, and then I'll additionally rub them down with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, just to make absolutely sure. And then everything is going to get a coat of primer. So we'll do all of that, and then we'll look at the lighting plan for this thing of beauty. Okay, so let's go to the next step. Okay, so I've been busy. But sometimes a model comes along that it's not huge, it's not complicated, but an awful amount of fun to work on. And this is one of those. If you're just joining me, welcome. This is part 1 of Build the 1/20th Scale Travel Pod from Star Trek The Motion Picture. This is a Cosmic Models kit. And if you don't know who Cosmic Models are, you should check them out, because Keith over there is fantastic. And I'm not a, I'm not a pushover when it comes to garage kits, I have to tell you, and aftermarket kits and smaller version kits. But I don't call this any of those. What I call this is a small batch manufacturer. And the reason why I say that is because Keith is an artist. These are artist interpretations. They're not commercial at all. They're done purely to to sort of fill gaps where there's just not anything else like it on the market. And wow, does he do a tremendous job. Now, these are 3D printed resin models, so it's a slightly different working material. But I wanted to show it to you this way for a second, because I'm actually on I'm on a Cosmic Models base as well. This is how it's going to be displayed. Look at this. It's a kit. I talked about this earlier on, and this is it all assembled, and it's just beautiful. I mean, it's something you can put on the shelf. It's ready to go, and I'm super proud of it. So it's just one of those things where craftsmanship matters, and this is clearly one of those instances where there's craftsmanship here. Now I've not completed the interior of this, but this rod, this brass rod, I'm telling you, it weighs a ton. So it's quality. It's quality you're getting. It's quality. So anyway, let me set that aside for a second and just sort of talk to you a little bit about what we've been doing. Now, everything has been primed. The great thing about primers are they don't lie to you. They show you where you need to go, and if there's any imperfections, details you've missed, things that you need to clean up. So this has now had a couple of primer coats, and I've been slowly trying to clean this up. And I've also put on I've started to blacken out the fan blade lighting area here. This will take another coat of paint. This was just sort of a primer black, just to get something on there to help me start to figure out my lighting situation. We said we'd talk about lighting, and so that's what we'll do now. Just to sort of let you know what I've been doing. I mean, this is obviously the bottom of the tub, as I call it. I'll get you in this view so we can see this a little better. Then this is the interior, and the interior of the tub it's a separate piece. Beautifully designed with all kinds of openings for your wire chasing. You've got opportunities to light your computer panels that are at the sort of the entrance to this, which is the rear of this. Now, just a little something I'll point out. It's not the end of the world, but I don't know where I don't know why I'm going there in my old age, but I am. I'm starting to get a little, I notice things a little more. So here, these computer banks that are on the rear wall here, the tops of them, Keith, if you're listening, should have been a lot narrower. Now, I know he's going to say, yes, but if I made them narrower, Phil, you weren't going to be able to get light behind them. I would say, yeah, we kind of can, because there's some amazing things on the market that allow us to get things a little closer, and I'll show you those. Now, it's not the end of the world, and I'm not trying to be picky, but it does change a couple of things. And the reason why I say it changes a couple of things is because here is the top of the tub. And the top of the tub has these decorative panels. I'll get you a little closer if I can. These decorative panels here. And the idea is that in the film, in the motion picture, if you look, there is a decorative wall panel right here. And it's in what looks to be like a very kind of interesting purple mauve color, a mauve for my British friends. I just wanted to point that out, that I do understand the Queen's English or the King's English, depending on how you feel about that. But anyway, so at the top here, you'll see we've got these diffuser panels, these light diffuser panels here. Then there's supposed to be this sort of decorative piece, which is not part of the kit. And then you've got these lower decorative panels, which connect to the bottom of these panels here at the bottom. And so what I have done is I have created these. They're out of 2 mil thick strip styrene from Evergreen. There's 2 of them. And I have put over them my classic athletic tape that I love to use for these sorts of situations. And you can see it's sort of like upholstered in the back here. And these will get painted in that purple color as soon as I've sort of figured it out. I'm off to the hobby shop after filming this today to sort of grab some more paint. So I'll see what I can do. I may have to mix something, but the reason why I'm showing you that is because in the filming miniature, it's hard to explain here. So I'm going to try and do this as best as I can. In the filming miniature, these sit on this wall like this. Okay. They're supposed to sit on this wall like this. And they are supposed to come out at a slight angle and kiss the top of the actual, these panels right here. Let me get you closer to show you that. They're supposed to sit like this. And they come out at a little bit of an angle, so they're supposed to go out like that. So I'll put some kind of a little bridge under that just to raise them slightly because they're supposed to be out at an angle. And they're actually supposed to run the length of the cockpit past this computer bank. But the way this has been designed, you can't do that without cutting these. You'd have to cut this because you can't get it to run because of the way this is designed. You can't get it to run past it. Do you see? You'd have to cut it, and I don't want to do that. So in the film, this piece here is very, very narrow, and it dies into this back piece, and it's thin enough that this sort of soundproofing or decorative panel goes right by it. So we're gonna do a slight augment, and we're just gonna put these panels. We're only going to put these panels in as far as we can take them, but that's okay because the viewing window here, it's all about the front of this ship. If I put the tub back on here for you, and again, I'm going to be very, very careful because my locator pins, you know, every time you pull out and pull in and pull out and pull in, you do risk some issues. So you have to be very careful. But I do want to show you this. Is if you look down the mouth of this tub, you'll notice that this decorative piece, if I slide it in, there, that's pretty good. If I slide it in here, you'll notice that in order for me to get it to run the length of it, I can't have it drop over those top decorative panels. Do you see? It has to sit on top, but that's okay. But when you look straight down the belly of it, with the lighting that we're going to put in this, that will drop into slight shadow, so it shouldn't matter too much. So while it's not perfect, it's going to be pretty darn perfect. And again, this is just me giving you some of my thought process into what I'm doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing some basic light blocking. This will need just a little more, but when I check my light blocking technique, I ran a flashlight over everything. I don't see any issues. So I should be in pretty good shape. So that's good. I've got some good light blocking going on. Now, lighting. And then I think that's a good place for us to end. I'm going to, there. Let me set this aside for a second. Because it's something I want to share with you, and it's kind of cool. This is from Evans Lighting Design. Now, these are warm nano chips. They come in clusters. This is a cluster of 20. And they're all numbered so that you can identify where you're sending things, and that's kind of cool. And so this cluster here happens to be a cluster of 10. They come in 10, 20, and I believe 40. But I wanted to turn this on for you because, and we'll get up close here, and you can see the random nature of this. Now, a couple of these are pulsing at the same time. They're pulsing correctly at the same time. So what I will do is I will take the two clusters. I'll take the two clusters that pulse at the same time, and I'll use those for my nav lights. The rest of the clusters I'm going to install into the computer, into the computers at the back, just to give that some movement. But this is a great way to put computer lights and blinkies and other things into your builds without having to get a board, if you choose to. If you choose to. Now, I love boards. I use boards all the time because they're very flexible. They have lots of versatility. But for this particular build, I didn't think it was necessary. So I'm sort of excited about using this Evans Design plug and play kit. Now, I've ran this yesterday. I ran this for about 4 hours. No problems. So it's a great little piece of kit. So I highly recommend them. Evans Lighting Design. I'll make sure that's in the description below so that you know where my sources are for all of this. So that takes care of the computers at the back. Now, when I say it takes care of them, this panel here, and on the opposite side, this panel will just get regular light. The blinkies will come in this panel and this panel because that's where they're supposed to go. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this if you wanted to. If you want to go super crazy, super crazy, you can use fiber optics. Now, this is 0.75 millimeter fiber optics. And if you'll notice, and I'll get this on close up here. If you'll notice, this comes in all different kinds of colors, and it's already been bloomed for you at one end, which is quite extraordinary. But they come in green, red, yellow, blue, and so you can actually use these fiber optics to create computer lights and blinkies, and they work very, very well. Now, you don't have to do any of this, guys. You can use regular fiber optics and Tamiya Clear, and you're fine. But I just wanted to share with you that this is on the market, and it's not expensive. I mean, this was like $1 or something like that on eBay. So there's plenty of places for that sort of thing. And so the other thing is I've sort of been preparing all of my lighting, and so what I've got is I've got all of my LEDs. I've got some 5 mils and some 3 mils. And I've also got some 1.8s. I've got some 0805 Let me get you closer because this is just the cluster. Now I've prepared all of these myself. I've got some. I've got a strip here that I've created, and I'll show you where everything goes. I've got the two strips for the blades in the front. I've got 4 floodlights for the front, and I've got some nav lights. Well, they're not navigation lights because they don't strobe, but they're all here. So I've prepared all of my lighting, and that's all sort of ready to go. And so what I'll do now is just quickly go through where everything goes. So for the front of the model, the strips, the large strip lights, which are these, they're going to go on these blades. The 5mm whites will go in the floodlight positions. There's 4 of them here. Then you've got a strip that will go here, and you've got a strip that will be here. Now this will glow red, but this will all be diffused, and we've got diffusion material that comes with the kit, so that's good. Now that takes care of the lower portion. Now, if you wanted to, and I'm not, the filming miniature does have light coming from these right here, here, and here. And it also has them on the top of the model, and I'll show you that right now, because those I did do, and I'll explain why. I'm using some photo etch that I had over from a 1/350 build, because I used a pre 3D printed bridge. I didn't need the photo etch for the miniature bridge, but I never throw anything away, and I know you don't either. And that came in super handy for these. So let me get my fat head out of the way. These here, and I'll stick a light behind it. Hopefully I don't blind anybody, but you can see that they light up nicely. There they are right there. There's 2 in the front, and there is 1 on the back. Now the genius about doing that as well is you can see that the interior of the tub has not been light blocked yet. That's why you're seeing all that bleed through. But I've got lights for those. And I've also going to put a small 1.8 light here. Now, I know some people put a little strobe on that, but in the movie, it doesn't flash. It's just on. But no harm, no foul. You certainly could get this to flash, and I may still do that. I mean, I've got plenty of nano chips that I could put one in there and get that to flash. It might bring this to life a little more. I don't know. And then the other areas where you need light, one is in this cockpit, because the film really never shows you the interior of this computer screen right here, which sort of drives the pod. And so what I've done is I've got an 0805 that I'm actually going to put here on a screen, because that's going to light up my 2 figures. So when they stand here, and I'll get this on close up for you. When they stand here, let me pull this so you can see it. When they stand and their position is kind of that-ish, we want light to hit their faces, so I'm going to have to work on that, but that's the idea. And then the only other source light in the actual cockpit itself is coming from the computers, these computers at the back. And so they're going to be a little saucy so that we've got something, but not so much that your eye is taken off the front. Now, that takes care of the lighting on the interior. And then the only other lighting we are going to need is for the locking ring. This is the locking ring, and this is going to connect the the travel pod itself to the Enterprise, and that's how that looks when it's on. And what you have is an opportunity, and I'm putting one in. I'm putting a light here to shine down and give you some source to flood the rear of this, so that when you look at it from the back, you can actually see some of the detail on the door. And so that is the lighting plan for this kit. The next thing I'm going to do is just go through everything and clean it all up and make sure it's perfect. And then it's going to get a coat of white, a warm white. Now, I'm using a new product. Now, I'm not shilling for any of these people, but when I find something, as you know, I'm a bit of a test kitchen. I like to share what products I'm using. This is a Florida company. Some of you may know of them. It's called Chroma Air. It's water-based, airbrush ready. And boy, is it ever. It goes on beautifully. Now, and it has a slight thickness to it. So I was slightly concerned that it would clog the brush. Well, it's a beautifully made acrylic urethane paint. Washes up with water, and it doesn't clog. Now, I've used the gray. This is the gray. Now, you do obviously have to be careful. This is a paint grade. This is a car paint grade paint. And you are going to have to seal it. And so, because obviously we seal everything anyway, but you do have, it can scratch. So you got to be careful. But it is hard. It's hard, and what I really like about it is it goes into all of the cracks. It sucks in. But there's something else I like about it too, and this is the key reason why I wanted to share it with you, is because this is a 3D printed model. And sometimes, even if it's printed in a super fine grade, which means that the layers are micro thin layers, so you don't have these heavy lines. It's beautifully printed, but you are going to, sometimes you're not going to get a perfectly smooth surface. You're going to have situations where some of the striations are visible. Now, some of it can be sanded, and some of it can't. But the beauty of this paint is it's starting to fill in some of those lines, and so I'm getting a really good. I'm really getting a good result from it, and I'm happy to say it's worth trying. So I'm going to try this and see what happens. Now, having said that, that's why I wanted to share with you. I've done it in the gray, and now I'm going to do it in the warm white, and I'm going to hit everything with the warm white. And I like this white, this warm white, because it's got what appears to be either a little bit of yellow in it, a little bit of brown, and it goes towards almost the cream, but it's not. And it's not as cold as the Insignia white, which I was going to use. So I'm really excited to try this. But anyway, it's a company called Chroma Air. You can check them out at Chroma, CHROMA -paint.com. Here, I'll show you again here so that you can write it down if you want to. There they are, and there's their phone number. They're in Florida. Their website is pretty cool. Now, you don't have to get these in the 16 ounce. They're in a very affordable 4-ounce bottle as well. I just got these because I've got a couple of really big projects coming up, and I'm going to need it. I'm going to go through it. Not all of it, but I'll go through it. So anyway, I think that's plenty for this episode. It's a long one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. It means an awful lot to me. You can follow me on Instagram at Spruverse, where I post most days sort of minutiae in the weeds details of what I'm doing. I am going to be doing a little bit of traveling, so there might be a delay of a week before the following update on this of where we are. But I'll try not to make that happen, but it may. But anyway, until we're together again, I wish everybody be safe, be well, build something, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.